Well, hello and welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick, where everybody needs a little TLC. This is Talk Leadership with Cedrick, and this is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. You can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to grow others. We believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help us make an impact on others. So tonight, we have with us two dynamic leaders, and I'm really excited for these two young people that are with us tonight. This tonight is personal. Every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guests. So let me do a proper introduction of our special guest tonight. So the first guest we have is Miss TreKessa TK LaFleur. Yes, I don't call her TK. TreKessa to me will always be her name. All right, so TK LaFleur is a 2010 graduate of Texas Christian University, TCU, where she played basketball and received multiple all-conference honors, newcomer of the year, and that team, her final year, they won Mountain West championship. She received a Bachelor of Science degree in communication with a minor in business from TCU. She's coached 2 years at the college level, both at TCU and at University of Texas Pan America, which is now known as University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. She is currently employed by Imperium Benefit Solution as a quality assurance engineer. She is also the author of Breaking the Silence: Basketball's Hidden Secrets. This book walks you through the mind of an athlete and some of the internal struggles and dialogue that occurs. It also highlights mental health, leadership qualities, and thinking questions at the end of each chapter. It's a great read. It's a great study workbook for you as well. You can purchase that on Amazon. She is also the founder of Mindset 180 Academy. Now, let me give you a little bit of background on her academy. All right? This academy is geared toward building the elite mindset in athletes. Let me say that again. It's designed to build the elite mindset in athletes. She solely focuses on mental performance training, including, but not limited to, mental health, performance anxiety, building confidence, and creating consistency. Consistency is the thing that goes. We always say motivation gets you going, but consistency keeps you going and growing. She's also the league commissioner for Texas Girls Tackle Football League, which is a youth girls tackle football league here in the city of Houston for girls in the age of 7 to 17. So you'll hear a little bit more about all of that a little bit later. So welcome, TreKessa LaFleur, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So our next guest is the young one of the group, and this is Patrick LaFleur. And Patrick graduated from Texas A&M Kingsville, where he also played football for them. He obtained his Bachelor of Science degree in industrial management. And then he went on to complete an MBA. Recently, he graduated from Liberty University, and he currently works for Schlumberger as the engineer in charge. Big man in charge. Go ahead. So welcome, Mr. Patrick LaFleur, to the show.
Thank you.
Folks, I want you to sit back and relax a little bit. We're going to have some fun, and I'm going to ask them the tough questions as well, and I'm sure they're going to give me some tough answers. But it's designed to be a family night, so you can get to you always see me, but now you're going to get to see behind the scenes of how the LaFleur kids grew up and what are they doing today. All right. So, TK, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about your story. What things have you been doing since you graduated from either high school or college?
So when I graduated from college, I pursued basketball, and I did go and play professionally for a year overseas in Poland. And then I also played in Louisiana on Louisiana Bayou Angels, and that was a lot of success. I played 5 years on that team, and we won quite a few championships, won nationals, and just had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, really grew myself. This was all of this occurred pretty much after my book takes place. And so there were a lot of growth spurts. There was a lot of learning, a lot of new people that I met that really challenged me in a different way, that challenged my thinking. And then from there, I always knew that I wanted to be in technology. And so I found a position here in Houston at Empyrean, which is a technology company, and began working my way through the ranks there. I started as a business systems analyst and worked my way up over the last 5 years now to be a QA engineer. And so professional, like work-wise, that's what I've been doing. Outside of work, my gracious dad allowed me to get a puppy. So I got a dog, which was a big accomplishment for me because I've been wanting one for a long time. And just really hanging out with family, getting back to being around my family, getting back to the fun things, getting back to hobbies such as archery and working out and things of that nature. So I've been dabbling in a lot of different things. Even went on to play 2 years of tackle football. So yeah, I've been dabbling in a lot of different things since college.
Yeah, tackle football. That's always interesting. So Patrick, give us a little bit more about you since either high school or college.
So since I left A&M in Kingsville, I first started my career progression with actually my sister in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I worked there at a pipe yard for about 6 months, and then I started off with Schlumberger, and they moved me to San Antonio. I started there, and pretty much my life just opened up from there. Hanging out with friends a lot, working a lot, and just making money. And then after that, it wasn't going too well with our company, so we moved up to North Dakota where our business was growing, and I volunteered to go do that. That was a big change for me just because it was North Dakota and literally nobody lives in North Dakota. So I mean, we used to live in Chicago before, but that was it's different. It was something I definitely had to get used to, but I did make that career progression. It was definitely a big career move for me. It helped me out in my career to move up with the company, and I know people are watching and seeing how I'm evolving in that. So I started off as a tech in the field. It's the oil and the gas industry, if you didn't know. We work in the chemical production side. So I was out in the field, and then about a year when I was up there, I got promoted into a manager position. And I'm doing that right now. I manage about 7 people. And yeah, just having fun, hanging out with friends, doing a lot of crazy stuff that my family thinks I shouldn't be doing, but
yeah,
like
he's
going out playing.
So what are some of these adventurous things that he does, folks? Just listen to this. I can't do it.
Well, I've been skydiving a couple of times, which is fun, by the way.
A perfectly good plane. No.
If you haven't done it, it's a different experience, and it doesn't feel like you're on a roller coaster. You just feel, I mean, the only way you can really say it, you just feel like you're floating. Like you just feel free. and it kind of brings you back into everything you've done in life and you haven't done, and you're just there. You're just in the moment, and I think that's why I really like it.
Okay. All right. And what other adventurous things are you doing?
Oh, I bought a 4-wheeler, so I do a little bit of motocross. And then I've been boxing, well, more kickboxing. So I do a lot of kickboxing too as a hobby. I've been doing that for about a little bit over a year. So that's actually pretty fun. I didn't think I would. I usually just watch it on TV with my dad, but actually doing it is totally different and makes you think about a lot of different things. But I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, when you're getting beat up, yeah, it makes you think about a lot of things. All right. Don't get hit like that anymore.
Whatever.
So and folks, I just want you to know, I didn't tell them that they couldn't say anything. They can say whatever they want to say. They're grown. She's 33, he's 28, and they can say whatever they want to say. So tell us, what it was like growing up in the LaFleur family from your perspective.
Okay, I'll go first.
I'm like, okay, we on the air.
It had its fun moments and it had its learning moments for sure. We moved a lot, so I think at times there was a lot of adjusting. But we were always together and we always found a way to make it fun. Especially, I think when my brother and I were younger, we found it more adventurous than when we got older. But we because we had each other, we knew that no matter what, we were going to be fine. We were in elementary school together, so that allowed us to, well, at least it helped me adjust a little bit more when it came to going to school and making sure, that he got to class okay and getting back home. And then we would just, play in the apartment. And we had toys. We were kids. We had a Sega, for those who were born in 2000 or later, don't know what Sega is.
Toys. I mean,
you had a Sega.
Sega was awesome. We had bikes. We played a lot of sports outside, baseball, basketball, you name it, we probably played it. Race cars, just pretty much anything. And so we played a lot, and we had to depend on each other a lot in order to make it through, especially when we were early in the move until we really found friends and all of that good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. So, go ahead, Patrick.
I was gonna say, even though my sister didn't let me hang out with her anytime.
That's so rude.
I was by my lonesome self. No.
So dramatic.
I had a lot of friends. I was outside most of the time. But as soon as the street lights came on, they were calling the cops.
Get in the house now.
Yeah, I know there's a couple times I was pushing it, trying to speed on my bike, but I mean the street lights were already on at that point. I was just trying to get home as fast as possible so I wouldn't get a whooping.
Yeah, that was back when we whipped kids and it was fun.
Yeah, no, it was not fun. It was never fun.
It was fun for us.
Yeah.
Depending on the side of the belt you're on.
Yeah, it was never fun.
No, but growing up, it was good. It was more about, I know he brought out a lot of competition in us. Yes. So the competitive side really came out in pretty much everything that we did. So that part made it a lot more fun. Just the task of just being a kid and having to beat somebody. I mean, and you still have that today, is you want to be the best. That never leaves you. So I think it was really fun. There was stuff that I didn't like and stuff that I liked, but it was good overall. Yeah.
So, since you talked about we moved a lot, especially, well, actually when both of you guys were growing up, but I know that impacted you a lot. So tell me, what was the impact for you of all these moves, and how did it shape to you to where you are today?
I think early on it was fine because I was so young, so I felt like I could still just keep making friends. But as I got later in elementary and into middle school, I think that's when it really started to become not so fun because I never felt like I had just a solid group of friends that, you always hear people, oh man, I've known her since elementary school. I've known her since kindergarten. We grew up across the street. Like I never had that. And so the more we moved, the farther removed I got from having that. And so it also became less fun to try and make friends just because I didn't know when we were going to move again. So it's like, okay, well, why create this awesome bond with this person? And cell phones didn't exist, people. Okay, so there was no texting people, there was no Facebook, there was none of that. So it was like, you have the house phone number, and if they move, you don't have their house number anymore. So it was one of those things where it became a challenge to want to make friends just because I didn't know when we were going to move, and it just became hard. And so the more we moved when I was in middle school, and then when I was in high school, the less receptive I was to the move and to making friends and to reaching out. Now, I don't think I would change anything in that aspect. I do know a lot of people in a lot of places. So there are times where I've gone on vacation or gone on trips, and I'm like, oh, so-and-so, I wonder if they still live here. Like I think about that because I used to live in that area or whatnot. It allowed me to play on a lot of different sports teams as well when it came to basketball for AAU. So those connections were made, and a lot of those stuck. So I think more of my friendships stuck through basketball than it did through school and making friends at school.
Okay. All right. And Patrick, what about you? These moves, how did they shape you or impact you?
They didn't. I mean, the only thing I cared about was playing sports.
Okay, so in his case, he moved like 3 times in his whole life. And I'm pretty sure one of them he doesn't remember. And I moved 13 times, and I remember all of them.
You see, there's the difference in folks. And Patrick was easygoing, and he was just like, go with the flow. Wherever we are, I'm making friends, and that's it. And TreKessa was more, let's not move.
Yeah, let's not. We're doing just fine right here.
So, one of the impactful moves for you was when we moved your junior year from Houston to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you remember that move very vividly.
Yes, like it was yesterday.
So tell us about that experience for you. Like the day I told you that we were moving to Chicago.
Yeah, I stopped talking to him. I was highly, highly upset, mainly because we were like my high school team was doing really well, and we had a really good team. And it just everything hinged around that basketball team, and we were really good, and we had a lot of talent, and we were, my freshman year we were 3 points away from making playoffs. My sophomore year I got injured, but we still had a pretty solid season. And so going into my junior year, being that's the year when recruiting amps up, and that's the year when you really want to, you're going from underclassmen to upperclassmen, and you really, really wanted to show that, hey, you were here to stay. You were a dominating force. I was already highly recruited. I was I was a high profile player. And so I wanted to carry that. And I had a great relationship with my high school coach. So I wanted to finish that out. And then wham, hey, just FYI, gonna drop this down at the dinner table. We're moving to Illinois in a month. Oh, okay, great. No, we're not. So that happened, and I pretty much tried everything under the sun to get my parents to let me stay in Houston. I tried to live with my aunt. I tried to live with friends. I knew getting an apartment on my own wasn't an option, but I think I even tried that. So we moved to Illinois, and I was very, very upset. I really didn't talk to my dad for a couple of months when we first moved to Illinois, because I was just that angry. I went to school and I came home and I stayed in my room. And at this point, we had cell phones and texting, so all I did was, text my friends back in Texas and keep in touch with them. But overall, I was not happy.
And let me tell you, and I'll let you finish, but let me tell you how really unhappy she was. I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this transition goes well. I had already relocated there, so they were flying in to meet me there. And so I said, well, I'm going to rent a limousine and all of this stuff to like really welcome them to Chicago. And I remember standing in the airport waiting, you guys come down the escalator, and all I see Tammy, and I see Patrick, and then I see TreKessa coming right behind them, face full of tears. I was like, holy moly, she can't let this go.
Nope, wasn't letting it go. You weren't getting off the hook that easy. And it's high school, so it's really hard to move in high school. Elementary is a little different. Even middle school, I was bummed about moving in middle school. But when we moved in the middle of high school, I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, again? And so yeah, it was really hard. Like, I didn't want him to come to any of my games. I didn't want him to say anything to me. I don't want anything from you. If I need it, I'll ask my mom. Like, it's my mom and Cedrick. Like, it's not dad. Like, no. So, but my mom finally, after a couple of months, was just like, okay, you need to apologize. I'm like, no, I'm not apologizing. But she eventually got us to talk, and we went on the rest of those couple of years. And then here's the best part. They moved back to Houston right after I graduated.
Yeah, literally. Like,
I think he did it just to make me mad. I'm convinced.
Yeah, 2 or 3 months after you graduated high school, we said, hey, guess what? Abbott's moving us back to Houston.
Yeah. Same area and everything.
It worked out great.
Mm-hmm.
So what absolutely excites you when you get up in the morning, Patrick?
My dog.
Your dog. Okay. All right. And
I mean,
so tell us about this dog.
So I wanted a dog, but I wanted a big dog. And I got the dog in, I don't remember when, April?
Yeah,
No.
probably.
March or April, is around there.
Somewhere in April. Well, I got it when it's like 17 pounds. So then I drove home, stayed here in Houston for a week, and it was about the same size as my sister. Well, it was a little bit bigger than my sister's dog, but it wasn't that big. And now it's been, fast forward 6 months, and now my dog is 65 pounds.
Yeah.
When I walked into the door and my dog came around the corner, my dad jumped.
Yeah, this is a huge dog, and I am not a dog guy. Yeah,
but he has grandpups.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know, it's a Great Bernese. It's a mix between a Bernese Mountain Dog and a Great Pyrenees. They're supposed to get it's a female, so they're supposed to get between 95 and 115 pounds. So it's going to be a pretty big dog, which is fine for me, but.
Yeah, Katrina, no, not man's best friend. I'm gonna send that over to your house.
No, but she's always happy. She's really patient. She doesn't really bark either, at least yet. But no, she's
yeah. She actually is pretty good dog. She doesn't bark at all, which is great. So TreKessa, what excites you when you get up in the morning?
Outside of my dog, really just the prospect of working with athletes, because I every day I try to do something with my academy, whether I'm learning something new, whether I'm teaching, working with the team, working with someone one-on-one, trying to gain clients. So just the prospect of knowing that I'm able to take what I've learned and impart that on the next generation, because I know I'm not in coaching, but there are other ways that I can transfer my knowledge of basketball and all of that to the next generation to help them be successful and achieve their goals. And it's always fun for me when I have those conversations. Yeah, that's really. And then of course my dog Oakley. She's amazing. A lot smaller than my brother's dog. My dog's like 10 pounds.
Yeah, there's a big.
But, she's a ball of energy when she wants to be, and when she gets the zoomies, just move out of the way.
Yeah, I know one thing that I've learned from my dog is, I know it might be kind of weird, but just to take it one day at a time. I mean, I never really understood that until I had a dog, was just to live in the moment and not, because everybody's so worried about, oh, the future this, what I'm gonna do the next day, what I'm gonna do next month. Is with her, it's just what's happening right now. Like, are we gonna play right now? We're gonna play right now? No, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Okay. Then wake up and then want to play again or eat or something. And it's just about living in that moment. And I think that's what I've learned from her.
Yeah, and that's actually an important lesson, right? Because you're absolutely right. A lot of people are worried about what happened yesterday or the day before or last year. And then you have others who are worried about what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. What you're saying is live right in the moment, be present, right? Which is awesome. And we all need to do that. And, you know, with this current coronavirus pandemic, it has forced people to understand how to be more present. I've seen lots of comments of people saying how this has made them be able to take a time to reflect on their life. Right. So it's awesome. So, you know, some people think that, you know, we just gave you everything that you wanted growing up, and that's a fallacy. Right. But from your perspective, do you think we gave you everything you wanted when you wanted it?
No, I say no. We had to work for a lot of stuff, whether it was we had to bring home good grades. We had to do chores around the house. Whether it was around sports, it wasn't just, hey, Dad, I want a new pair of shoes. It's like, no, you need to go earn a new pair of shoes. Like, granted, we weren't playing for money, but it was like, if we strung together some good games, then that would be like our reward for playing well or working out extra or studying whatever it was that we were studying. We definitely had to work. Now, did we get a lot of stuff? Yeah, but it wasn't just like, oh, you want this? Here you go. It wasn't like they were trying to fill this void of not being around, so they're going to give us things. We still definitely had to work for the things that we wanted, things that we've asked for. And sometimes it was just no matter how hard we worked, we still didn't get it. Like, you know, a car.
Yeah. So yeah. My kids, I told them, hey, if you get a scholarship, I'll buy you whatever car you want. So one said, okay, I want a Range Rover. No. Yeah, I don't drive a Range Rover. You know what? Do you like the Honda Civic? No. Well, you better check on them, because that's what you're getting. The next one came up and I told him the same thing. And he said, well, I want this, you know, $26,000 Jeep Wrangler. No. You remember that Honda Civic your sister got? Well, we're going to buy you one of those too. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't driving those type cars, so you guys weren't going to drive them.
Well, you didn't put any stipulations on it. You just said get a scholarship to get a car. So hey, I tried it. It was always going to be no unless I asked. I'm just saying.
Sure. And yeah, so now let me say this. So when they bought their own car, there was no Range Rover being purchased. Okay. You notice how that changed, right?
I did get a Range Rover. It just happens to look like a Toyota 4Runner.
I did get a Jeep though.
You did get a Jeep, yes, yeah, with your own dime. It was great. But meanwhile, that Honda Civic worked fine. Yeah. I know sometimes, we all have good days. We all have great days, right? But sometimes we have those down days. And so for yourself, what do you do to pick yourself up when you have those down days?
So some things that I do is I'll just drop everything and either just go run and just listen to music, just clear my head, or I'll just close my eyes and just think. I mean, thinking and I guess what's the word? Meditating kind of helps me relax my mind. Sometimes I might go into my car or something and just listen to jazz. The jazz kind of just soothes me, specifically Kenny G.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's my type of music there.
Yeah, so I like listening to that, and it kind of just relaxes my mind, kind of relieves all the stresses or whatever I'm thinking about. If I'm having a bad day or anything, I'll just do that just to ease my mind.
Okay. So I just learned something tonight, folks. Look at that. This is why I do this show. So I learn new stuff, even from my own kids. I didn't know that he likes Kenny G, and I'm a big Kenny G fan. So awesome. All right. Next, I just got to get somebody like Judge Judy.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You can have that all by yourself.
All right, TreKessa, what about you?
I'll go take a walk. I have to almost get out of the environment that I'm in that's maybe causing me stress or anxiety, or it's where I'm at, whatever space I'm in that's allowing me to have a bad day. I have to get out of that space for a little bit. So that could be going for a walk. It could be going for a drive. That could be maybe playing fetch with my dog. Sometimes I will just go take a nap because it's just so overwhelming. And I'm just like, maybe if I sleep for a little bit, it'll work itself out in my subconscious or something. But it definitely involves me getting active. I stray away from music because whenever I'm in having a bad day, I tend to stray away from music just because it actually compounds the situation more and it makes me think about it more. So I don't typically turn to music to de-stress or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, nothing wrong with that. Music is great for the soul. Absolutely love it. So, TreKessa, tell us, what are you doing right now?
So doing a couple of things. I am the founder of Mindset 180 Academy, as you mentioned earlier in the bio, and it's an academy that's built towards developing the elite mindset in athletes, and it's really around mental performance and performance anxiety, and helping those athletes grow into who they're meant to be. Whether that's from a leadership perspective, whether that's from working on being more consistent, working on their habits, working on different parts of their mental game that will put them in position to succeed when the game gets tough. Think about late game free throws. Think about those pressure scenarios that athletes come in. Think about if you're having a bad game, how do you get yourself back into the rhythm of the game so you can play at the level that you're meant to play? So all of those types of things is really built around mental toughness, are things that I train athletes on, whether it could be a team, it could be an individual athlete in one-on-one sessions, but those are the types of things that I'm training people on. And I got certified in all of this. And so every day I'm learning something new so I can add to my program, so I can add to the athletes, really, because it's really about them. It's really about making them the athlete that they want to be.
So what made you decide to develop Mindset 180 Academy?
So it really started around my book, Breaking the Silence, Basketball's Hidden Secrets. I started a website just to really talk about mental health, but I knew that I wanted to do more, and I knew that I wanted to expand. And so one night I just really couldn't sleep, and it just kind of all came to me. And so I woke up the next morning and told my dad about it, and he thought it was a great idea. And so from there, I changed everything from Breaking the Silence movement to Mindset 180 Academy. because there's more to sports. And Mindset 180 Academy kind of encompasses all of that. It encompasses the mental part of the game. It encompasses mental health, because sports and mental health, they really do go together, and it's not talked about enough, and it's not expressed enough through athletes. But mental health is so important. Your mental performance, your performance anxiety, how you think about life. When you're done playing sports, where does your mind go? Because that's where a lot of athletes can get in trouble, is not knowing what to do when sports is over, when you're done playing and you don't want to coach, or maybe you do want to coach, making that transition. And so when I'm thinking about all of these things, and I'm like, man, there has to be a space for this. And so started doing some research and came across mental performance training. And I said, that's what I need to be doing. And so from there, I grew out Mindset 180 Academy, and now that's what I'm doing.
So what made you decide that, hey, I really, what gives you the background in this? What made you say, hey, I need to set this up?
Well, as an athlete, I struggled with mental health. In 2011, I was diagnosed with severe depression, and it really it took a toll on me. It took a toll on my family. And a lot of this is in my book, but it was really a rough time for me, because mentally I wasn't in a space to transition from playing to coaching, or I wasn't in a space where I was mentally ready to stop playing. And athletes go through that, and it's hard, and they need help, and they need guidance on what to do next. And so from a mental health perspective, I feel like having that background, going through the times where you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your decisions, where you maybe have these negative and suicidal thoughts, where things just get out of control in your mind and you don't know how to control it. You need that help and that guidance to make that next transition in life. And so from that perspective, I have a lot of experience. From the mental performance training perspective, just going through the certification, but also being an athlete, I've learned these lessons along the way. I was able to understand how I was building my team around me, which is very important as you're growing as an athlete, having the right people in your corner to help you achieve the goals that you set for yourself athletically. Understanding what type of mentality you need to have, when is it time to go in a game? When is it time to give those pep talks that are needed in the middle of a game? When is it time to push yourself harder, your focus and awareness, your self-discipline? All of these things you learn as an athlete. And then but you don't realize that you're learning them, and you don't realize how much it's a part of your mindset and your mentality until you're almost done playing. And if you get it before then you're really, really lucky. So what I'm trying to do is take all of these lessons that I've learned and instill them in the athletes now, when they're in middle school, when they're in high school, and even when they're in college. So as they continue to go up in age and play at the next level and in the next level, mentally they're prepared, because physically I know everyone's going to be prepared. They have trainers, they have coaches, they have strength coaches, they have nutritionists. So your body is going to be prepared, but are you mentally going to be prepared? And that's really where I'm trying to insert myself, because if you don't have the mentality, if you don't have the right mindset, your physical is pretty much obsolete, because everyone's going to be as strong as you, everyone's going to be as fast as you, but where you separate yourself is in your preparation, and your preparation is in your mind. It's your mentality. It's how you approach the game. Well, it doesn't matter what sport it is, it's how you approach the game.
Okay. All right. So Miss Katrina is on, and she has a question. She goes, hey, Gabrielle plays volleyball, and can she benefit from your sessions?
Absolutely. Any sport, this is not specific to basketball. So any sport, any athlete, any team can benefit from my sessions. If you want, I can, we can connect, and we can talk about some of the different things programs that I offer, and make sure that we get something going for Gabrielle so she can benefit from this. But yes, any sport, any team, it doesn't matter. It all works, because it's all about your mentality.
And are you working with high school, college, middle school? What kids are you working with?
I pretty much work with any age group. Right now, I currently am working with a college team, and I'm working one-on-one with just a couple of adult athletes. But high school, definitely individual and team. Middle school, individual and team. If you play select, if you play multiple sports, if you are transitioning, say you're an 8th grader going to 9th grade, or you're in high school going to college or whatever, if you're in those transition periods and you want to get that extra leg up mentally, then definitely reach out and we can definitely work together and get a program written out for you and keep going.
Awesome, and all her contact information is on the screen. So, hey, let's do a quick diversion here. We're gonna play Would You Rather. All right. So, would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money, Patrick?
Amazon gift cards.
Amazon gift cards. All right. Yes.
No, I don't want to be locked into buying everything from Amazon.
I do it anyway right now, so that's
okay.
Exactly.
Why?
All right. So, would you rather be a ninja or a pirate?
Ninja.
A ninja. Okay. Would you rather have free gas for 25 years or have your dream car?
Free gas.
Well, since I already have my dream car, free gas.
Okay. All right. Last one. Would you rather have free Apple products forever or have free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
Apple products.
What is that?
Yeah,
Apple.
Awesome. So, what's the most important thing that I should know about you right now?
Go ahead, Pat. I've been talking a lot.
I mean, I've been thinking about this question a lot, and I don't really. So you might think that we as millennials don't know what we want or how we want to do it or stuff like that. We're not working hard or anything, but I know a lot of we can surprise people. And what I mean by that is we could be patient at times, but we can also be pushy. And I know the thing that I'm learning now is just to be very patient in a lot of things. And the older crowd or the older generation is forcing us to be patient in a lot of stuff because they think we want stuff too fast. And they just don't see, like, you're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. When in reality, we probably could be ready. You're just not giving us a chance to be ready or to actually show you. So I know a quote that I always resonate with is, when the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When they are full, starve them. When settled, make them move. And that's by Sun Tzu. I know it's a brutal quote, but I really took that as be patient. And no matter what happens, be mentally prepared, like my sister was talking about. Because when that time comes, you better be ready. And you better be ready to show the older group or whoever is giving you that chance that you can do what you say you can do. And I think that's what I've been going through a lot, especially in North Dakota, is just be patient and not take anything for granted.
Awesome. I like that. You definitely gave it a lot of thought. So I like that. Okay. TreKessa?
I really just want you to know that I'm okay. Like, I'm fine. It's nothing as deep as Patrick, but just that I'm okay and I'm living the life that I want to live, and that I know that there have been times where y'all probably look at me and are like, what is she doing? What is she thinking? I promise I've thought it out. I've probably tossed and turned 500,000 nights in a row, but I'm okay. I'm making decisions that work for me, and I'm confident in those decisions.
Okay. All right. I like that. Patrick, you see Miss Katrina's comments on the screen.
Yeah.
I agree, Katrina. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. But North Dakota, all right.
Whatever.
So we do a family book study every Sunday, right? We just finished a book, and we're doing family book study as well as Black history lessons. And so how has that been beneficial to you?
It's been very beneficial just because it's forcing you to read. So I get my spurts in reading. So I'll be really enthusiastic about reading, and I'll read a lot, and then I'll just stop for a while. And then I'll read a lot, and I'll stop for a while. So it kind of forces you to be more consistent at reading every week and learning different principles. And it helps that you've been doing it for so long. And then we also have John Maxwell kind of explain the things a little bit deeper in his perspective also. So it helps get different principles, get different perspectives, kind of what to think about, what to look at, how to think about it in a leadership perspective. Because I know on the field level, you don't really get that aspect until you actually get in that position. And just learning that stuff now, it helps prepare you for when you go into that leadership position. And especially now, so I do lead some of our safety meetings, and I do input some of those leadership principles or the activities that you do with your groups.
Listening,
yeah, and pretty much all the reactions that you tell is going to happen, it happens. It's the exact same. And all I could do is laugh just because I was like, it's ridiculous. But no, it's good. I like it. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's really good. I like it, and hopefully we can continue it.
Awesome. TreKessa, what about you from your perspective?
I like the reading because I've been making it intentional, especially these past couple of years, to be more active in reading. My goal is to read one new book a month, and while this year you would think I would be doing better, I'm actually doing worse. But it still allows me to read. It still allows me to grow. But I really, and being that now that I have my own academy, and I have to be the leader in that aspect, and I have to be the leader in some other organizations that I'm involved in. It makes more sense, some of the principles and stuff that we're covering. It makes more sense how when we read the book around mental toughness, it brought to light more things around what mental toughness is, and how it can manifest, and how it can, take you down different paths. So just being able to pull out little golden nuggets here and there from the stuff that we read and how the conversation goes. But it also gives me a chance to see where everyone is just in our family. Like, how do we all think? How do we process stuff? What are we doing to, how do we view the world, really? Because, I mean, obviously every day I'm seeing the world from my perspective, but then when you have a conversation, you get to see the world from someone else's perspective for a little while. And then we began learning more about just African-American history in general, not just the people that they teach us or taught us, I guess, because we're not in school anymore, but not just the people that they taught us in school, but people that I've never even heard of, and some of the amazing things that they did and either maybe didn't get credit for, or they did get credit for, but maybe it was happening around slavery. So they used all of the money they got to free their entire family. Like, that's a really big sacrifice, and just understanding how those sacrifices look, understanding overcoming so many things. And so it's really more amazing to know that it just happened, and amazing to see how they overcame in some very, very tough times. And here we are complaining because sometimes, the Wi-Fi is out, like, oh, okay. Like compared to that, it's like, get over it. They don't even know what Wi-Fi is. That kind of.
Yeah, and so the book she was talking about that we did several months earlier this year, actually, it was called. It's by Amy Moore, and it's called 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. And every week we read a chapter and we come back and discuss that chapter on Sunday evenings. And very awesome activity. If you don't do something like that, I highly recommend it. And then as we were doing this, that was our either second or third book. And as we were doing this, Patrick mentioned, hey, why don't we do something around African American history? So then I went and dug up some things and found this document. And every week, each person picks a person that they're going to study and come back and do a report on. Now, let me say a report. The report we're talking about, Patrick, TreKessa, and myself are talking about, is like, a couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph or two. Yeah, well, Tammy thought we were doing her senior thesis. And, we always time her when she's reading hers because it's a long time. I mean, we hear about the person's history. I mean, we really hear. But it's actually a fun activity. It's a fun bonding activity. It's a fun exercise, and you learn some new stuff as well. So thanks, Patrick, for bringing that up. The next thing we have to do is select what our next book is going to be, because we just finished last Sunday our last book, which was How Successful People Think, which was a really you can't see that, but How Successful People Think. It's hard to see on the screen, but that's what this book is called. All right, so we have a few minutes left here, but so let me ask you this: so what other are there any other projects you're working on, TreKessa, that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so I am the league commissioner for Texas Girls Football League. It's called Texas Girls Tackle Football League. It's for youth girls ages 7 to 17, and we're based out of Houston. And essentially, it's just a league for girls to go and play football. We know that the rise in young girls playing football has increased a lot. And a lot of them are having to play with boys because there isn't anything specifically for girls. So me and a group of friends, we put together this league, and we're still looking for more players so we can make sure this season, we were supposed to start this season, but COVID pretty much knocked that out the water. So we're gearing up for 2021. We're always looking to sign up young girls. We're looking to sign up volunteers and coaches. And we are definitely excited, really, to get the league off the ground. If my number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, so if you have any questions, comments about Texas Girls Tackle Football League, do not hesitate to reach out. I can get all the information that you need. But we definitely want we want and need more players signed up, because we have some teams coming, and we're ready to get them on the field.
Awesome, man. I know you had an experience with playing tackle football as well. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So since I was a little girl, I wanted to play football. And since I was a little girl, my parents said no. So so much so that my mom tricked me into thinking that I was going to play football, and then I was a cheerleader, and I was not happy. That's how bad I thought. That's how much I wanted to play. So I decided that when I was an adult, I didn't really decide that. It just kind of fell into my lap because I was looking to get into sports again, to get into some kind of type of competitiveness. And I came across football. So I went and tried out, didn't tell my dad because I knew he was going to say no. So I went and tried out, made the team. And then I came home and I was like, hey, Dad, I play tackle football. The season starts, in April. Here are the tickets to the game. And it was fun. I actually was able to wear my brother's number. So that made me excited. And get to kind of live in his world for a little bit, go to football practice. Didn't have to lift weights nearly as much as he did, but lifted a little bit of weights. And enjoyed playing. It was very different from football. A lot of my basketball skills, some of them transferred over really well, and others got me in a lot of trouble because you weren't supposed to do that on the football field. But for the most part, I had fun. I won a Super Bowl, got selected to an all-star team, went and played in Cancun with AFE All-Stars. So a lot of great competitive fun has come from playing football, but I definitely am not playing anymore. It was definitely, a couple year thing, and now I got it out of my system. So I'm good.
Yeah, that's over. When you get older, you enjoy. Hey, look, I'm not gonna have to go to a stadium anymore and sit out there and watch my kid play anymore. And after all those years, you get excited about that, and then to have them come back and say, "Oh, well, we're gonna do this all over again." Yeah, that's always something.
It was cheaper for you this time.
Yeah, it was cheaper. So, question: when you're just sitting at home and you have to pick a dessert, what's your favorite dessert?
Like anything?
Yeah, what's your favorite dessert?
Peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler. Okay, all right. TreKessa, or you don't eat dessert?
Get out of here.
Anything.
Yeah, either bean sprouts and alfalfa.
Oh, here we go again. Okay, here's the deal, guys. I'm pescatarian, and my dad likes to give me a hard time for being pescatarian, and he also thinks that means I don't eat anything unhealthy. So everything that I eat is bean sprouts to him.
It really is, guys. It's not like my son and I. Hey,
they eat everything.
Yes.
I'm trying to be happy.
Exactly. So what do you eat? You didn't even tell us.
I did. I said confetti cake, but I don't get it very often. But confetti cake is probably my most favorite cake in the whole wide world.
Confetti cake. Okay. All right. So we'll get you a pound cake next time.
No. There you go. Not listening again.
Katrina said cheesecake. Yeah. So all right. So we're going to wrap up on this question. So if there was a book that was written about you, and each of you will take this, a book that was written about you, what would the title be, and what would the summary of the book say about you?
Yeah, you got this one first, Kevin.
It would be called "Breaking the Silence: Basketball's Hidden Secrets."
Okay.
Cheater.
Exactly. Well, so show your book though.
Okay. So this is my book, "Breaking the Silence: Basketball's Hidden Secrets." It's available for purchase on Amazon. And sort of like what we talked about earlier, it just talks about some of the things that I went through when I was growing up, going through high school, and how the mental aspect of sports started to really just take over. And it's actually started to just mess with my mind and deteriorate as time went on, and not having necessarily always feeling comfortable reaching out eventually led to a dark space for me. But also within that, it talks about leadership. It talks about building your team, how to be consistent, how to grow, how to allow yourself grace, give yourself grace really as you continue to grow in your sport and age and all of that good stuff. But it's a really good read. It's a really easy read. I have a workbook coming soon for it, so that'll go in tandem with the book as well.
All right, and then what would the summary be?
So the summary is, I thought I just gave the summary.
Oh, okay, all right. So then Patrick, I was giving Patrick more time.
Oh, okay.
I think probably called "It's Not About Me," and I always say that because all my life I've always just wanted to help others. Like I've always wanted to help other people. Even when I was growing up, I've always just wanted to help other people, and I always emphasized like the Damian Thomason and guys like that in the NFL because they always went out in the community and helped others either build their house or give out food for the homeless or stuff like that. I think my book would be towards that and kind of giving back. That would be mine.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I like that. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this hour has really gone by pretty quick and fast. And I want to thank both of you for allowing me some time to come on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. I know you didn't have to. I kind of twist your arm. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm glad you both did come on the show. Thank you very much. Hopefully our audience picked up some things and some tips and tools that you use in your life. You know, what things make you excited every day? Talking about mindset, right? Talking about giving back, and also talking about personal growth and development, and growing yourself. Just pick up on those nuggets. So thank you again for coming on the show. You know, folks, tomorrow night at 5:30, I will have another guest on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. It'll be author Monica Madden. So make sure you tune in to my Facebook page tomorrow night for that. After that, at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, go over to the Empowered Living channel on Facebook, and you will hear me on the Black Entrepreneur Institute live show. You know, tomorrow we're going to have a teenage entrepreneur. Her name is Lexi P, a phenomenal young lady doing some amazing things as a teenage entrepreneur. So tune in to that tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Empowered Living channel. And then come right back here at 7:30 every Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, and check out Talk with TK and the Mindset 180 Academy. Are you going to have a guest on tomorrow night?
No, it's just me tomorrow.
All right. So just tune in tomorrow night and come listen to Talk with TK. Thursday, you know, I'll be back on the radio at ibgr.network at 4 p.m. Central Time with Talk Leadership with Cedrick on the radio. And folks, I want you to always remember, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Don't be on the menu. We'll see you tomorrow night.